I don't know what's going on the other side of the table. Hello and welcome to another edition of After the Whistle. We are back, and the trio's back together. Allana hasn't lost her mind yet dealing with us. Todd's still here. He hasn't gone crazy on nobody yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
we got a lot to talk about in the world of sports. Normally we would start off with football, but we're just gonna start off with some baseball news for once.
Switching it up.
Yeah, we're switching it up. We hardly ever talk about baseball, so baseball, this is your time to shine.
Oh, and we're gonna talk about the WNBA. Can't forget about what's been happening in that.
Negotiations, they about to get that paper, what they deserve. So baseball. So this whole thing with the Astros has been going on for a while now.
Right.
Major League Baseball has come down on them. They've suspended the GM, fired the manager, and now it comes to the Red Sox, who've parted ways with Alex Cora because he was on that 2017 World Series champion team on the Astros that are accused of sign stealing. And this is just crazy. It's wild. The whole situation is just wild.
I told you before the show, honestly, who cares? Like, if somebody's stealing your signs, for one, there's only one or two signs that really mean anything when you're in the baseball game. So for them to steal those one or two, and there's line coaches doing the line coach is doing like 4 or 5 different signs as well. Mm-hmm. Like, man, just get better with making your signs, bro.
Right.
Yeah, and from what I was reading, so Alex Cora, he was on the Astros team, as I stated, and apparently he was like the ringleader of this, because they're saying they had somebody upstairs that was recording whatever was happening on the field, and whatever sign was happening, he would then send it down to the booth or down to the dugout, and then the Astros and Alex Cora, they would do certain things if they know a certain pitch is coming, like they'll like bang on the barrels, or they'll do something that'll let the players know. And this is for some of the stuff I've read, and a lot of people are saying they should vacate that 2017 World Series championship. Do you guys agree with that?
What year is it now?
2020.
Right. When did this happen?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many other dynamics that we could look at in sports. For instance, we've talked about having more black coaches, more black GMs. I mean, problems that are actually happening within the sports industry and not focusing on something that's 3 years back.
And, like, how you going to vacate a game? They all had to play the game still. Yeah. So you're going to have these guys come back out of retirement, or whoever's still in the league, and get back on that squad and play that game? No. So that's just stupid. And I don't know. Football, baseball, y'all got to get over yourselves, because us hoopers, everything's exposed in basketball. And we got to be better strategic people and better strategically in the game.
And my thing with this whole thing is, if that now they're trying to tarnish what the Astros did, but if they were really out there just straight up cheating, then how they win 100 games 3 years in a row? Mm-hmm. You can't just cheat to win 100 games 3 years in a row. You just have the better talent. They use the competitive advantage, which, I mean, hey, go right ahead. Shoot, we be trying to cheat in Madden and all that stuff. So, I mean, the baseball purists, the baseball enthusiasts, they're saying this is a tarnish to the game. We got Yankees talking about they got robbed of 2 World Series because they lost to the Astros and they lost to the Red Sox in championship games. So it's like, Yankees, get over yourselves. Too bad. Sucks for y'all. But hey, I don't think it's an issue. But the biggest surprise was how the Red Sox were quickly to just part ways with Alex Cora.
This is before he was on the Red Sox staff, right?
Yeah.
That's just dumb.
Because I feel they believe that Major League Baseball is going to come down on him too.
So what do you think should have been his punishment?
No punishment at all. He's 3 years. He's been out. He left the Astros after that 2017 season, and I mean,
right.
What's done is done. I mean, get over it.
It's kind of like whooping the kid who stole something 2 years ago. It's over and done with, man. Like, you just got to learn from your mistakes and move on.
Yeah, so we'll see what else happens from this. I know Major League Baseball is still doing investigation and stuff, but yeah, it was just some crazy 24 hours.
But also, too, nothing should be hidden in a sport that's public. Yeah. Simple as that. Yeah,
but I mean, we think differently, so whatever. Let's go to some more important things. That's our baseball spiel. Next time I'll talk about baseball, probably All-Star break or Home Run Derby, which is like July. So
A little bit of time.
We got some time. Let's go to the NFL and the divisional round, and there was only one upset. Those Tennessee Titans are at it again. They rolled the back of Derrick Henry to a tune of 200 yards from over 200 yards of scrimmage, and they put it on. They put it on the Ravens. The Ravens. It looked like the Ravens were the unprepared team.
What happened? Was the Titans always that good, or did the Ravens choke?
I think they got a little bit of that New York Giants syndrome. They just got hot at the right time.
Right.
Because if you look at it, they had to win. They basically had to win the last game of the season to get into the playoffs, and it's just they're just a hot team right now.
I think the Titans, their game plan worked to a T. You got Jackson throwing the ball 59 times and running.
We'll talk about that in a second.
20 times. You can't have your quarterback being your best running back and QB in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That's what they game plan for all season.
Right away, they had that momentum that it just couldn't compare.
And also, his receivers let him down. There were a lot of drops. I think they dropped about 6 or 7 passes. The Ravens receivers did, and there was one. I think it was Will Snead. He dropped, and if he held onto it, it was a touchdown. Then when the Ravens got into the red zone, they kicked field goals, and the Titans they just did what they did. It's astonishing how a team has only passed the ball 29 times in 2 postseason games and are onto the conference championship game.
But they know the key is balance. Henry gets 30 carries. We don't even see many running backs getting 30 carries during the game. And when Jackson dropped back, you knew he was either running or throwing. You knew he wasn't handing it off to anybody else because the other,
Mark Ingram?
Yeah, Mark Ingram wanted to go, 9 carries?
Yeah, he was hurt too.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, though.
Yeah, I have an issue with them throwing the ball 59 times because you got out of your character. It seemed like I don't know what the offensive coordinator Greg Roman was doing because even when they were down 14. They were down 14-6 at halftime. Mm-hmm. You could still run the ball. I mean, you had ample opportunity to run the ball. You didn't have to do anything out of your character, but they just started chucking the ball down the field, and that worked to Tennessee's advantage because they wanted to tee off. And 2 interceptions came of that. I mean, it wasn't Lamar Jackson's finest hour, but
it was not.
But my goodness, the play calling could help.
I mean, it could have, but a lot of people was rooting for Lamar and just to see how he performed. I mean, is this going to affect his MVP season? Even Skip Bayless, he tweeted, Lamar, after 3 weeks off, has been a little off all night. Even that touchdown throw was a better catch than throw. He was, the Twitter was having it.
Well, the people that have been rooting for him to fail, they just all came out the woodworks. It makes no sense because they're like, now it's 2 playoff games in a row that he hasn't played well, and they're saying, I know we've had Bernard Pollard Jr., ex-player, talking about Lamar Jackson, he's not the guy because of the 2 playoff performances. But Peyton Manning, it took Peyton Manning 6 years to win a playoff game.
And what season is he in?
This is his second year.
Right.
So people I don't understand people that were so eager for this type of performance to come out of Lamar Jackson to just come out like,
Lamar's
what is wrong
young.
with y'all?
He has time to grow.
What do you expect, though? They're NFL purists. They think Tom Brady's the god, and nobody should be more athletic than him, better than him at all. And they don't want to see a black QB be the greatest quarterback of all time if he's able to be.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here.
Yeah. But kudos to the Titans, though. Hey, Derrick Henry, he's put the team on his back because the way he's running the ball, they're gonna be a tough out, and they executed their game plan flawlessly. I just like how they stay to who they are. They don't try to do anything else. No matter the situations in the game, they stay true to their game.
And sometimes less is more. Yeah. And with Tannehill, he knows, he understands that. He's not Kyle Allen.
Yeah. All right, the Houston Texans. If they were playing Madden, they would have been in the conference championship game because after you down 21-0, it's past the sticks, and after that, they had a chance to go up 28-0 on them, and they elected to kick a field goal on 4th and 1, and it was just a whole momentum shift after that because they could not get anything going after that, and then they were giving Kansas City short field and a turnover, and they just Kansas City, once they started clicking on offense, it was just everything went downhill for Houston.
Watkins really couldn't slow him down either. I don't know why this coach is so adamant in throwing the ball so much. 52 passes? Like, come on. You was averaging 4.5 yards a carry running. You might want to get the running back a little more carries. Like, I just don't get it.
Especially when you're up 21-0. That's when we got this big lead right now. Let's milk this clock. Let's establish our run game. But you allowed 28 points in the second quarter alone. 4 touchdowns in the second quarter by Mahomes.
That's what I'm saying. Mahomes was 5 touchdowns. He kept moving that ball up and down the field. He knew where he needed to be. Mahomes, but once they found their momentum, it was not stopping them. Even though there was a 24-point lead, it wasn't going to do anything.
Yeah, and it was also baffling. So you don't go for it on 4th and 1, 4th and inches in your own in their territory, in Kansas City territory. But you want to go for it. You want to do a fake punt in your own territory on 4th and 4, 4th and 5. And that was another momentum shift that gave the Chiefs short field position. So what was the strategy with that?
You've been calling it all season, though. The coach need to get his job taken. I'm sorry. Like, you've been calling it all season, and I know sometimes I say you're pretty hard, but you kind of spot on with this guy. He kind of ruined it for them. Yeah. Not kind of, he did.
Yeah, and this is what I think he's like it's like 3-6 or 3 in the postseason, and his postseason loss, it's all embarrassing losses, and some of those are games they should have won or they could have won, and they just do little things. I'll never forget him doing a wildcat with J.J. Watt in a playoff game.
Oh man!
Like what? But that's neither here or there. Let's talk about Mahomes. You could tell he's fully healthy when he ran the ball for 53 yards, and you could see when he was scrambling. Sometimes he would throw it away but this time he hit the corner. Once he got to the corner, it was off to the races, and Texans had no response for him.
Most teams won't have a response from a healthy Mahomes.
None whatsoever. So they move on to the AFC Championship game. We'll review that in a minute. So the NFC man, so much for the Kirk Cousins praise. It all lasted about he had a good run for me. Man, he had a good run, but they just ran into a team that's just better. Pretty much. They just ran into a better prepared team, a team that was at home. And
not inside their head, not feeling the pressure, just did what they had to do.
And going into this game, I was like, these two teams are mirror images of each other, but they took away what the Vikings did best, and that was Dalvin Cook. They took him away, and they forced Kirk Cousins to beat them. And a lot of times when you force Kirk Cousins to beat you, and you're going to get a few picks here and a few overthrows here, and then, hey, at one point the game was tied at 7.
Right. In the last 30 minutes, Minnesota kept trying to find answers. They kept trying to figure out where can they get. It wasn't working.
And nothing.
Hey, man, kudos to you, Cousins, man. You had a solid season. But 49ers has really been one of the best teams all season. They started off like 7-0 or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
So, we knew they were going to be good. I just didn't think they had enough experience to get over this, the
playoff hump or whatever?
No, whatever round this is right now.
The division round,
the second round. Yeah. So, Garoppolo proved me wrong, even though less is more with him, because Coleman had more carries than he had attempts. So,
yeah, they ran the ball 47 times, and that's what San Francisco's going to do. They don't. If you go up 14-0, 17-0 on them, they're still going to run the ball. They make a concerted effort to run the ball. And you look on the other side, the Vikings only ran the ball 10 times. Dalvin Cook was averaging 2 yards per carry. I mean, if Dalvin Cook isn't cooking, then, hey, bars, son.
So it's safe to say that the 49ers had a strong defensive effort and effective rushing attack.
Yeah, someone said Nick Bosa's playing his heart out to go see 45.
Y'all done?
Yeah. I'm sorry. But yeah, San Francisco's game plan was flawless. Although Jimmy Garoppolo had that one interception, he made some big plays. There was one play he threw, he got popped. He stood in there and took it, and a pass that should have been intercepted was made. A great catch was made by San Francisco. So now San Francisco is on to the NFC Championship game for the first time since, I believe, 2012 or 2013. I want to say 2013. Last time they won it when they played Seattle, when he held the whole Richard Sherman, Michael Crabtree thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that was last time. So, and their opponent will be the Green Bay Packers, who, I mean, at one point, I think Green Bay was trying to lose this game because they have full control. But Seattle's just one of those teams. If you don't bury them, they're going to find a way to make the game interesting. And this game, it was very interesting in that fourth quarter of that game.
Yeah, but I'm going to say this again. This is like the second week where you had quarterbacks that were the top in passing and rushing for their team, and that can't happen in the playoffs because they're game planning for that.
Yeah. And you see, well, Seattle, their top 3 running backs were hurt. so they had to bring Marshawn back, and, he ain't played all year. So it's like, and also, there was that third down play to Jimmy Graham, which they got the nice home field advantage spot because he was short of the first down, but you get that home field mark. And then Seattle had a couple chances. There was a 3rd and 9, I believe, they were like down in Green Bay was in Seattle territory. They were backed up, and Aaron Rodgers found Davante Adams for a key first down. And, you get that stop, you get the ball back for a chance to win the game because it was 23-28, and this was right before the 2-minute warning. So Aaron Rodgers, he just made he made some tough passes.
And the Seahawks, you can't start off slow. They had a slow start. And when you have those key players like Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, who is making 277-yard passes, you can't compete with that. Even though Davante Adams with the Packers, he was obviously MVP of that game. It's just you can't compare.
Yeah, and they put a rookie on Davante Adams on that key third down play that pretty much sealed the game. And it's like, Seattle, what are you doing? Why are you putting a rookie on him with no help? Well, they were supposed to be help, but whew.
But this is one of those games. Since it was tight, this is one of those games you got to value the ball, and you have to convert those third downs. Green Bay went 9 for 14. Seattle only converted 3 third downs. That's tough to win the game only converting 3.
Yeah, and you can't have only 3 first half points, especially up there in Green Bay. You can't just have 3 first half points, and they're gonna kick themselves in the foot because they had opportunities to steal this game because there was some penalties here and there. I think Jadeveon Clowney got a penalty late that kind of kept the drive going, and it was
the only
little
reason
things
that the Seahawks got their drive going was because it was off broken plays.
Yeah. So Green Bay Packers is back in the NFC Championship game for the first time. I think this is the 4th time Aaron Rodgers is in the championship game. The last time it was in Atlanta, and there was down 28-0 at halftime, and the rest is history. So he hasn't played well the past 2 conference championship games, which both have been on the road in Seattle and in Atlanta. So now you're going back on the road to play the San Francisco 49ers, and the last time they went out there was, I believe, week 12, and it was 30-8 the final score, and that game was not even close. It was a rough outing for the entire Packers team that game. So I don't know. What are you guys seeing out of this matchup?
I think the Packers would definitely redeem themselves in the overall game. They'll make it a more competitive game. But I think the 49ers are rolling right now.
Oh, yeah, 49ers. But if the Packers do want to see if they could win, is that they need to bring strength in areas of looking at the red zone, the pass rush, pass protection, and turnover margin. Those are the only 4 areas that they really need to work on and bring that strength.
Yeah, they definitely got to get to Garoppolo. They definitely, if they don't hit Garoppolo or pressure Garoppolo, then their chances of winning won't be that high because Garoppolo, for all the great things he's done this season, he's shown when you put some pressure on him, he gets a little shaky with the ball, and he'll give you a chance to take it the other way. So the Packers defensive front got to show up in this, and they got to stop that running game. You have to stop San Francisco's running game because that's the key to the entire offense is that running game. They do a lot of things just off the success of these 3-5 yard carries, and then the next thing you know, they do a play action, and then boom, they got a deep 50-yard, 60-yard touchdown pass. So Green Bay have to stop that running game. But the matchup I want to see is Richard Sherman against Davante Adams because two of the best, and Richard Sherman went on his post-game rant again, reminding everybody of how good he is and how he's been disrespected because people think he's just a corner that's successful in the zone and the doubters, and basic Richard normal Richard Sherman things, and it was. I looked at the post game. I'm like, I don't know why this dude keeps letting trolls on Twitter get to him so he could just go on these post game press conference rants. It wasn't even a rant, but it was just like, dude, we know you're good. What is wrong with you?
I stopped listening to Richard Sherman a couple years ago, so I don't even pay no mind to him. He gets caught lying and all that stuff, so I don't got time for that. Play football, bro.
But yeah, that's gonna be the matchup.
And stay off social media, really.
Yeah, but that's gonna be the matchup right there: Devontae Adams and Richard Sherman, and we're gonna see if the Packers' running game could travel because San Francisco, they're not gonna blitz. They're using that front four, and I ain't gonna comment on both sides. All right.
He's pretty smart though. I watched the interview. I was impressed by his.
Yeah, his dad. I think his dad went to BC.
Oh, I was just impressed by how he was with the interviews.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Could you imagine having to block that dude in high school?
Bosa?
Yeah. You see that he's been the same size.
Oh.
Yeah.
For real?
Both of them.
Oh. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I'm quitting. I ain't playing. All right. AFC Championship game. Tennessee against Kansas City. This is another rematch. They played earlier in the season, and this is the second time in about 3 years that they're playing in the postseason. The last time they played in the postseason, Marcus Mariota was the starting quarterback, and they won off some craziness. I remember watching that game. It was weird. And then earlier this season, they beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs had a chance to send the game to overtime, but the Titans blocked the field goal that would have tied it up at 35. So Tennessee's going in this with a whole lot of confidence, and they've already seen they've beaten them once. So I have no reason to think that they can't do it again.
I do.
But
because Patrick Mahomes is healthy again. The thing is that when they played against him, is that this was his first game going back into it after dislocating his knee, and when he was out before with 2 games,
and they still put up like 30 points.
So
the Chiefs' run defense. Good luck stopping Henry because for one, they're not that good in general, and Henry's just. It's like a tractor trailer running on.
Yeah, and the last time they played in the postseason, Alex Smith was the quarterback. So you got a whole different quarterback. But the Chiefs' defense, for all the stuff we've been talking about them, the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season, they've actually played a whole lot better. And even against Houston, they started off rough, but they played a lot better. We'll see. It's a different animal trying to tackle a defensive tackle or a linebacker.
I was gonna say everybody do well to Henry rocking the room.
Yeah.
Then it's a wrap.
Yeah, this is true. They're gonna have to make Ryan Tannehill beat them. That's basically it. And the way to do that, if you get up on them 14-0, 21-0, if you get a big lead on them, then that'll play into the hands of letting Ryan Tannehill beat you. But if this game is close and it's cold, you know what happens when you don't want to tackle people when it gets cold, especially as the game keeps going and going in the fourth quarter. All those hits, you start making business decisions at the end. So, hey, if the Chiefs want to win this game, they need to get them out of their element.
Yeah, they do, man.
But
stopping Henry, man.
Yeah, that is definitely the key. So we'll see this, and this is like Andy Reid's. I forget what number it is. He's played in a lot of conference championship games. This is his second one in Kansas City. I believe when he was with the Eagles, he played in like 5 or 6.
Like 5 in a row, I think, with McNabb.
Yeah, something like that. So, maybe this is a year Andy Reid finally gets that ring, because if you look at him coaching-wise, he's probably one of the all-time great coaches. He just needs the ring. He needs the ring. That's the only thing missing from his resume is a ring. And then if you look at his coaching tree, they're all having success. So, Andy Reid, maybe he'll get it this year. Maybe not. We'll see. And I was about to say something. The Ravens, I forgot. The Ravens were talking all that trash. I forgot to mention this. The Ravens were talking all that trash about how the Patriots didn't want to tackle Derrick Henry.
Oh, you seen that meme?
Yeah.
Earl Thomas?
Earl Thomas got turned into a lead blocker. And, yeah, it's, you got to be humble. You got to be humble. At least the Patriots made the game respectable. It was close, but you guys just ran out the gym. And a team with 12 Pro Bowlers not making it to the conference championship. Woo. All right. Ooh. All right, some other NFL news. Luke Kuechly last night in a video on Twitter through the Carolina Panthers, he announced his retirement 28 years old, and he just said he said he felt he can't play at a high level anymore. Linebacker, all-pro linebacker for the Carolina Panthers, Boston College grad, Boston College alum, Luke Kuechly.
All right.
He announced his retirement last year. He's only 28 years old.
28, wow.
28, and through his career, there was a point where he missed some games. He missed, I think there was like 7 games in his career he missed because of concussions. There was one game he had severe concussion, and he tried to get back in the game. They just wouldn't let him, and he missed numerous games because of that. And I think this is one of the reasons because he said in the video he said he can't play at a high. He doesn't feel he could play at a high level. He still wants to play, but he doesn't feel that he could play the way he's accustomed to playing. So he's just calling it a career.
Well, at least he knows that this is his to end the chapter, because some of these athletes, they just keep going and going and going and wearing out their body and don't know when to say, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I think it's a smart move on his part. If you know you can't play at a high level and you step out on the field, that's when you're most likely to hurt yourself.
Right.
Yeah, and this is a trend happening in the NFL now that players are retiring younger. Patrick Willis, I think it started with some of the San Francisco 49ers a few years ago. Patrick Willis, he retired at 30, and people thought he was going to play a couple more years just because of the way he was playing. He was still playing at a high level. He was still All-Pro, but he just called it a career. Gronk, he was 29 going on 30 when he retired. We got Andrew Luck retiring. He just turned here. He's probably like 29 going on 30. Calvin Johnson retired at 30. It's like we're seeing these players more concerned about their mental state and just trying to preserve themselves because they know football. And the older you get, it's not easy as you get older.
And they're more aware, they're more educated, and they know that the NFL doesn't really care that much about them after they're done between the lines.
Yeah.
So they have to make sure they're straight regardless.
Yeah. As Marshawn Lynch said, take care of y'all chickens and take care of y'all mental. So
think about it though also too. They're just now putting more tests into play.
Yeah.
To help out concussion things and that should have been happening 20 years ago.
Yeah, so he was a rookie of the year. He was defensive player of the year. Played in a Super Bowl, I think 7-time All-Pro. So he had a heck of a career. I mean, for 8 years in the league. I mean, that's a lot of people can't even do that. And I think he led all linebackers with over 1,000 tackles. All current linebackers with over 1,000 tackles in his career. So, hey, kudos to him, man. If you can retire on a good note, go ahead, and you ain't got to worry about all that other stuff that comes afterwards. All right. The Cleveland Browns hired Minnesota Vikings offensive coordinator Kevin Stefanski. I think Kevin's his first name. I forget. His last name's Stefanski as their new head coach. But listen to this. So last year when they were in the coaching search, it was Stefanski and Freddie Kitchens as their two options. Yeah. So they
and they pick
Disrespect.
So they go back to the guy, and this is why Cleveland got so many issues, because they do stuff like this. And if you watch Stefanski's game plan against the 49ers, you're like, are you sure you want to hire him as your head coach? Yeah, that's my reaction to Cleveland. It's interesting times over there for Cleveland. Now you got another head coach. This is the 4th head coach for Baker Mayfield going on to his 3rd year. How you have 4 head coaches in 3 years?
As much as nobody should feel bad for him, I feel bad for him. Just because, they ain't even giving him a chance. It's hard to just stay with a new coach year after year after year, especially in football, because you have to learn their whole game plan, their whole playbook.
Whole new offense.
It takes you at least 2 or 3 years to really understand the whole entire playbook.
Yeah, this is interesting. It's an interesting hire for Cleveland. We'll see what happens, but I don't know.
And Kevin is the 3rd youngest head coach in the NFL.
He ain't black though, so. Oh, too soon?
Too soon.
Oh, my bad.
You always on time in my book.
All right. Okay, Julian Edelman, this guy right here. A wild boy.
I don't know what happened.
What's going on with him? He a wild boy. He out there in California. He got arrested after allegedly jumping on a car in Saturday night in Beverly Hills. He was cited for misdemeanor and vandalism.
He was then released on a citation. He's supposed to be going back to court on April 13th.
Now, when I read this article, how much did he drink?
He must have drank a whole lot. I mean, I don't know what Paul Pierce gave him to drink, but
Edelman only get wild when he gets drunk.
that seemed like a drunk behavior. That's a typical drunk person behavior right there.
And then, did you see what Tom Brady posted?
No.
So he posted a picture. You saw it of like TV12 electrolytes saying, "Sounds like you need some of this." So they're joking about it. I mean, I guess that's good.
Hey man, you need to stay. Off-season NFL, this is what happens. We get at least 10 arrests each year during the off-season. Usually it comes during June, April, during May, June, before training camp and stuff, like during the downtime. But he started early. It was like, there ain't even been 2 weeks.
In Beverly Hills.
In Beverly Hills, too. Come on, get it together, man. You supposed to be, come on, man.
But I'm like, whose car is this? There's so many questions I have. Why jump on a car? I don't know.
Somebody bet him or dared him to.
The liquor, man. It was him, Danny Amendola, and Paul Pierce. That is quite the trio just to be hanging out. Paul Pierce is out there. It's for other personal reasons. We won't talk. We don't get into people's personal lives, but he was celebrating something. So we'll leave it at that. Edelman, stay off. Stop getting arrested, man. Get it together. All right. Lastly, before we go to Athletes Corner, did you guys see this on the game, the Packers, during halftime of the Packers Seahawks game, Jimmy Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Hall of Fame.
If you see that, for our audience that did it, check out this clip real quick.
Coach, on behalf of the Pro Football Hall of Fame and all those fans that are watching and all of us who love this game,
I'm very comfortable seeing you do this.
Thank you, Coach, for all you've done for the game. Thank you for all you're going to do for the game. Thank you for the history that you've made and the lives that you've impacted. Thank you. It's my great honor to tell you that you're going to be the 328th Hall of Famer into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And your legacy is going to be in Canton, Ohio forever. Congratulations, Coach. Congratulations.
Great. Hey, Bubs. Oh, my God. That is awesome.
I think watching green. Jimmy overcame emotion right now. But tell us what's
the only thing I can think of is all the assistant coaches that have worked for me, all the great players that have played for me. They're the reason I'm here, and they're the reason I can't talk.
All right.
No.
Where's your boss?
I mean, this is so special to me because when you put in the work that we put in, it's nice to know people appreciate it.
Yeah, so congratulations, Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, really?
But why was he not in the Hall of Fame already?
Yeah.
It just, when I saw that, that's when I was like, hold on, he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. It was a sweet moment, but it's been long overdue.
Way overdue. He should have been in the Hall of Fame 10, 15, 20 years ago. I think he was one of the first coaches to win a national championship in college and then go on to win 2 Super Bowls.
And look at the Cowboys now in the last decade.
He's not even in the Cowboys Ring of Honor.
Right.
We all know why.
That's why.
He's one of the guys, he don't care about how you fail. He's about getting production and getting wins. And they didn't like his attitude when he was the U. They thought he was arrogant. I'm a U guy. Boom. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even care about the U.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up watching Dallas Cowboys win. Go 3P, right?
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4, because my mom and them love the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Love Jimmy Johnson. So, like, I love his arrogance, and that's the reason why a lot of people didn't put him in the Hall of Fame because of that.
That's so stupid. Every Hall of Fame voter that in this time span that didn't vote him in, they should have their votes be taken away because there's no he should have been first ballot, no questions asked. And also, Jerry Jones, why isn't he in the Ring of Honor? He's the only reason the Cowboys got relevant again. It's because of him. That's why they ain't win.
Jimmy Johnson, right?
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson. I mean, that's why the Cowboys that's why they haven't won in so many years. I don't know what just happened right there. You about to say something?
No.
But yeah, makes no sense to me. Yeah, it makes no sense. We're going to go to Athletes Corner because I don't want to talk trash about the Cowboys anymore. But congratulations to Jimmy Johnson. You know the guy in that purple coat, that Hall of Fame coat? That guy is 6'9", 400 pounds.
Look it.
Yeah, imagine seeing him coming down the hallway.
That's like Tommy Tyson, man.
Athletes Corner. I talked to the cheerleaders from Kipp Academy. They won a competition, so I went up there to Kipp up there in High Rock and talked to them. And yeah, so check it out, and then we're gonna come back and wrap this thing up because he got to go.
Hi, we're the Kipp cheerleading team. Team called Panthers.
Alright, I understand that you guys recently won a competition.
Yes, we did do that first place.
Alright, tell me about the competition. What was the competition? Where was it? Just tell me about that experience.
Okay, this season we competed in the Charter League. It was over at Excel. Last year was at Pioneer. We went against 8 teams. It was really nerve-wracking because the last competition we made it so far. So this year was like, we have to go even harder to make it even farther. And we did what we needed to do.
Just for you guys, for everybody, how was that experience, just winning that competition?
It was fun. I feel like it was fun for me. Mostly because like I feel like I did so great. And like I feel like our team really did really well, and like we all were hitting everything. And we were out of breath and we were still having fun at the same time. So
the feeling on being on the mat is like really great. Like just being there and competing like really gave you that adrenaline rush that we needed. And so we had like a near perfect routine.
How many competitions have you guys been in since you guys won as well?
Last season we did one at Essex Tech. We did one at Austin Prep, and then we made it to regionals. So we had 3 before this one.
And can you tell me the differences between last year and this year?
Last season, it's a more competitive cheer competition because we're going against basically like more advanced teams because they have more money, they have more privileges when it comes to like time to practice. So it was competitive. It was very nerve-wracking because we weren't like used to the amount, like the skill level that they were at, but we still gave it our all.
And with the performance, were there any nerves in there, or did you guys go in there thinking if we do what we're supposed to do?
I feel like it was both. We were very nervous, get very anxious, thinking that like, okay, now we know we're not gonna be better, but we're gonna cut it close with the amount of skills that we know. So we were like, they may have a higher skill level, but if we go all out with the things that we do, we can cut it close, and we can even maybe go farther just by sharpening our motions, by pointing the toes.
Can you guys speak on how cheerleading helps you guys outside of school?
It was a motivation, to be honest, because I used to be like super out of shape, and now I'm just like, I really want to do this. And it's like, I don't know, it's like a motivation for school too, because like for my grades, I'm just like, yeah, I need to get my grades up so I can go to competition with them and make them happy. And I just like being with this cheerleading team because like it's just like not like just friends, but it's like a family. It's like my second family basically. Just cute.
I feel the same way too. When I first came on this team, at first I didn't really want to be here, to be honest, because like in a lot of high schools, a lot of people see cheerleading as like a girl sport. And so when one day my friends came up to me and was like, oh, you should join the cheerleading team, we need guys, blah, blah, blah. And so I just decided, well, I mean, it's whatever. So I kind of just joined the team, and at first I was made fun of, but then like I started to like enjoy the sport and love it. And now like I really want to be here, and I really like enjoy being with this team. And like Willie Ara said, like it's like family to me, so I really appreciate it.
For you,
me? Oh,
no.
How was it just being a part of the cheer, being a male on the cheerleading squad? You understand some people, like
At first, to be honest, like I said, I didn't really want to be here. You know, a lot of stuff we were doing like last year, it was like we were doing a lot of girly stuff. I was just like, I didn't want to do that. But as time went on, I cheer became like a sport that, like I said, like I wanted to do, and it just motivated me to become better and like love what I'm doing. So being the only boy on the cheer team, it was actually nice because I got a lot of recognition every time we went to competitions. Like, oh, you were great, you stood out. Like those comments are what motivated me to continue doing cheer.
For the ladies, we are convinced that how we just help you being part of the team, accepting them, and also your assistance from the team. So how was that just helping them adjusted to it?
I feel like it was pretty easy. I feel like he was easily adjusted. I feel like there wasn't anything that we had to like complicate ourselves with. If anything, he helped us with skill level because, I mean, he can lift the whole female up by himself without the assistance of somebody else. So like, he started like the one man, then we got everybody on the team to do it. So like, he set that foundation that like we were missing in our last couple of years. And
Thank you. Yeah, I also feel like he was just like really motivated to do it. Like he would always be like the last person on the mat who just kept on wanting to do the stunts over and over again, going retired because he just really loved the sport. So like you can show that he was like enthusiastic to be here and really just like helps motivate us all as a team.
You guys talk about the role that the coaches play.
What was the question? I mean, we have our times where like we like look at each other's heads and it like kind of gets annoying. But like, if they weren't to bicker at us, we probably wouldn't be as far as we are now. Like even over the past season, like they, especially like, I don't know, they devote a lot of time, and I feel like sometimes we take advantage of that and don't give them the recognition. But I feel like deep down in our hearts, we know that we're here because of them. We are at the level that we are because of them. Like they're there pushing us, even if it's a little kicking the legs sometimes because we messed up or something like that. It still gets us that step forward.
As much as like we like push to become a better team, they also set that foundation to become that better team. They put in the work as well. It wasn't just, you know, what you see on the mat. It's also like the coaches on the sideline. They helped make that team what they are. If that makes sense.
All right. Lastly, what's the next competition you guys are going to be a part of?
February 10th. Part 2, it's going to be at Essex Tech again. I think it's February 10th. I mean, Excel. Sorry, I'm thinking about the last season. It's in February.
February 10th.
February 10th. Be there. Yep, 5:30. That's when we will know if we made it to the champion level.
You guys want to shout everybody out? Social media plugs and all that stuff.
I want to shout out my mother. Yeah, I want to shout out my mother because like, oh my God,
she's
I just
serious.
see that a lot. I just see that a lot on TV.
see that a lot.
That's what coaches feel me.
I love you, hoes.
Well, I want to shout out our teammates because we all like help each other out.
Right?
Yeah, I love you guys.
You can follow me on Instagram.
Albert knows. That's my last name.
I know you guys are gonna know this.
It's fine.
Thank you.
And we're back.
Oh my gosh, the stuff that goes on here. All right, before we get into the NCAA national title game, we're gonna talk about a big news that happened in the WNBA. They've reached a new CBA, which includes salary bump and other compensation increases, and long overdue, well deserved, because WNBA players have been advocating for this for probably for what I know, at least the last 3 years, they've been advocating for increase in salary, and I don't know, it's about time.
It's about time. No, literally.
I totally agree. There's no reason why women should be playing professional basketball in the United States and still have to play overseas in their off season. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but there's still a lot more work to be done because they still need to be compensated more than even what they're gonna get now. Because I don't know of any WNBA player that got $1 million contracts or anything like that.
Oh, like, not like that. But I just meant like they was getting paid like what, $24,000, $30,000 for the season. Now they're getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you
exceed 6 figures.
Yeah, so you don't have to go overseas.
Yeah, and also, what's amazing about this new contract is that even working moms, because you have to remember that a lot of these players, they're moms. They literally had a baby, and now they're back on the court playing. And now players will receive full salary while on maternity leave, new annual child care stipend, new progressive family planning benefits up to $60K, reimbursement for veteran players for costs related to adoption, surrogacy, and the list goes on. This is literally amazing, and it bothers me that it took this long for these changes to be made.
Because they were ignoring them when they were asking for their due. They were asking for, they should be paid what they do, especially for all the stuff they do, not even on the court, but off the court. And, being a woman, some of the stuff you have to deal with off the court. It's about time they got this. And the agreement is for 8 years, so it's going to run from 2020 through 2027, and there's an opt-out option after 6 years. So the 2020 salary cap will be $1.3 million. It's up from $996,100 in 2019. So, and from what I'm hearing here, players who complete their contracts, they have have 5 or more years of service can become unrestricted free agents unless they are tagged as a core player. So, now they're having more control of what they can, their careers and how much they can make. So, kudos to the ladies in the WNBA who were fighting for this for the longest time and finally got it. See what happens when you make noise? You get results. So people,
and this is just the beginning of so much more that needs to be done. For instance, the WNBA, they need more coverage. They need to have people in the seats watching their games. They need more advertising. But this is just a good showcase of what women deserve in society altogether.
Yeah, and all the folks that say they want to say they support the WNBA, but they don't show up to the games. It's like, come on, all right, you just can't talk it. You have to show it.
Right.
Also, too, though, on the other side of things, the women in the WNBA also have to be more appealing to the fans as well. Like, I coach girls basketball. A lot of women think you got to look like a guy to be a good basketball player, and that's not true. I try to tell them you can be a woman and you could look like whatever you want to look like to be appealing, but they got to cover both ends of it as well.
I think they should do that. I think a lot of them, they need to use social media more. I think they need to start. Some of them do, but a lot of them, I think they need to start marketing themselves more, or just showing themselves more on social media, so another side of the person. Because NBA players, they're all over social media. They'll NBA players, any little thing they'll just post on social media, stuff like that. But the WNBA could use social media to better market themselves too.
What I was going to say is too, I've showed you a couple profiles. I'm not going to say who they are. WNBA players that we see them, they look real masculine, but when they're on their page, you know they're women. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
makes sense.
I mean, I get what you mean.
Makes sense.
But there's also that fine line of, if NBA players don't have to be always on social media, why do WNBA players have to do that? I mean, I get that it's a great marketing tool, but at the same time, they're playing a game. They have a job to do.
Also, remember, WNBA hasn't been around anywhere near as long as the NBA, so they still have to get that leg work as well to get what they want.
What are we? You get 24 coming up? Yeah, 25 or something like that.
25, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember watching the first WNBA finals, Houston Comets.
Woo.
You know what I mean?
Oh, Tina Thompson went to the game, BC. She coaches for Virginia.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I just got excited.
All right, college football. This wasn't that bad of a football game. It just was forever. The game took so long. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. The first quarter felt like 4 hours, but in the end, LSU showed they were the best team in the country. I forgot to bring my LSU shirt that my cousin got me,
and I was so nervous just watching that first part. Because they were down. It was a slow start for LSU at the beginning, but then they picked up. And I was like, okay, we're good.
I felt like Clemson only knew how to neutralize them for a short time in the game.
Yeah.
And once all their plays ran out,
and they were
borrowing them.
Oh, those LSU defenders, those defensive backs, they really put the handcuffs on the on the Clemson receivers, and these Clemson receivers aren't scrubs. These guys, these are all American talent, and they just made them look. They made them look like amateurs.
One thing I noticed though, Trevor Lawrence didn't have a good game, but they should have gave the ball to ETN a lot more because he was effective every time he got the ball.
Yeah, they definitely should have. Because every time he got the ball, it was positive. But those LSU receivers and Joe Burrow, those passes he was making, he was
on fire.
Yeah, he was on point. And good Lord, number 8, the defensive back on Clemson, it was not his finest moment because he was out.
Clemson got a taste of their own medicine because that targeting call definitely changed the momentum.
I've already set up my thoughts about that dumb targeting rule, but that's such a dumb rule.
Should be a flag and that's it. You can't penalize they're not kids, but they're young adults.
Yeah, especially he had no intent to. It was, All right, so Pedro's giving me. We got 7 minutes left, so we're gonna run through some of these these things real quick. So first, let's go to Hofstra in Northeastern. I was there. Crazy game. Hofstra won on a buzzer beater. So I talked to the Northeastern coach and I talked to Jordan Rowland after the game, and here it is. I'm here with Jordan Rowland. Jordan, tough one right now. That was a hard-fought game. You guys battled back down 16, but second half was sort of like you guys kind of picked up the pace on the offensive end.
For sure. And I think that was a big the game kind of showed our character. I think a lot of teams can just fold after going down 16 in the first half. We came one stop short. So I feel like it was there's a lot of positives to take from that game. It's obviously tough to lose on a buzzer beater, but we'll be all right though.
If you're going to expect to, win games in the CAA, hard-fought games in the CAA against quality teams like William and Mary and Hofstra, you need to play 40 minutes of basketball. We didn't do that tonight.
What did they do in the first half that got you guys out of your rhythm? It seemed like you guys had a tough time getting the offensive rhythm going. Some of the shots weren't just falling.
Their matchup zone is very good. We need to. You need to have elite teamwork in order to get a quality shot. I thought we rushed some things early in the first half and way too many turnovers. So we had a better effort, better execution in the second half, and better results.
I think we were kind of stagnant on offense against our matchup zone. It's a tough zone to play against, and I think once we kind of saw the ball go in a little bit, we kind of started moving a little more, getting more confidence, and I think that was pretty much it. We definitely did a better job executing in the second half than we did in the first.
Now, this 2 back-to-back tough games that came down to the wire. William Mary on Saturday, and then this one. So what is it saying about your team? What do you guys need to do? You guys are going on the road for the next couple of weeks, and you guys won't be back here until the 23rd. So what do you guys have to do to just get those victories?
Yeah, I think it's big to go through games like that early. Now, we're a pretty young team. We play a lot of guys that haven't played a lot of games in our program. So just to kind of have experience to say that to have been there already, I think will help us down the road. We've been in close games down the stretch now.
Yeah, we just got to get better. We got to make sure and stay committed to playing 40 minutes of basketball and coming out sharp, ready to compete right from the jump ball, and make sure that we stay mentally tough and you can't feel sorry for yourself. You got to get you can either do one of two things. You can either quit or try harder. And I know this group, based on their comeback in both the William and Mary and Hofstra game, will try harder.
And we are back. And that was a crazy game, man. That ending was bananas. All right. Georgia Tech and Boston College, a game that was not crazy. And, every time I go to this. What did you guys do? What did the offense? What was working well for you guys? Seems like you guys were executing flawlessly.
I've always said college basketball is all about guard play, and our guards have gotten better. And I thought, our guard play of Jose Alvarado, who had 8 assists, Bubba Parham, who had 6 rebounds, Michael DeVoe, who had a couple big threes and did a nice job defensively. A couple big baskets. Our guard play is the key, and guard plays is to win in college basketball. Your guards have to play really well.
What problems does the matchup zone present?
No problems. If you get it to the right spot, you make shots. There's problems because they got a great rim protector. So if you are going into his body and trying to jump over him. It's never going to happen. So, we did a really poor job of trying to get him off balance, shot faking him, trying to play angles. CJ has learned that he's a freshman, his first time through. He's used to jumping over people. He's not able to do that in this league. But again, it's tough. You got to get in a rhythm. You got to make shots.
Seems like in that game, every time they tried to take it to the paint on you, it was like you gave them a hard time to score. Can you just talk about the defense you had, and also on the offensive end, how you made them your size kind of carry?
Jose gives you the ball all the time. That's why. Jose 8 assists, 1 turnover tonight. That 1 turnover was my fault. I apologize. All right. The defensive end. I try to be a defensive force whenever I can. Trying to get back to where I was. I fall off for a little bit on my intensity, just little things. But anytime anybody sees me in the paint, hopefully they have a hard time, and that's what I'm gonna bring. I don't care who it is.
And lastly, we're just gonna go to the top 10 in the divisional round because we got like 2 minutes left. So this top 10, and then we're done. All right, we are back. All right, we're getting out of here. Thanks you for watching. We got an Instagram page, LCTV After the Whistle. That's the Instagram page. Follow us. Follow it, like it. All the sports posts will be going on there.
Share it.
Yeah, I won't be posting on my IG page like that with the sports pro stuff, but LCTV After the Whistle. We out of here, guys. I'm hungry.